What's up, everybody? Grinigami here. This is my review for Bleach 525 Edges. Chapter starts off with Kenpachi realising that he's still losing consciousness often, but then suddenly he's coming back. He says he's never felt like this since the last time they fought. And it goes back into a flashback chapter and we see Kenpachi, he's a kid here, which is pretty cool, I actually thought. First of all, we see Unohana standing there, and then a random Shinigami who's probably part of the 11th squad, which Unohana should have been captain of by then, but we can't see because her hair is covering her captain's coat. But anyway, he comes over and he's like, yeah, I don't think we can find anybody strong enough here for you to fight evenly with. And then she says, oh, so you know my plan. And he states that, well, just to stop a bunch of lowly warriors, just to maintain peace, and sending a captain, it doesn't make a lot of sense. And then he looks over to a pile of corpses and he talks about how this mountain of corpses obviously didn't do the job for you. And then she realizes, she notices the mountain of corpses, and she's just like, well, how long has this been here for? And then he's like, wait, you didn't do this? All of a sudden you see this kid standing on top of the mountain of corpses, and he attacks Unohana. And this kid turns out to be Kenpachi, as I already mentioned at the start. I thought this was interesting because seeing Kenpachi as a kid, it wasn't expected. I mean, I thought when we'd see a flashback to them fighting, he would have been an adult at least. But as a kid, I mean, he's pretty powerful as a kid. I mean, Unohana even states that he was stronger than her at that point. Which is, I mean, we've got a lot to look forward to in Kenpachi if that's the case. But then Unohana also mentions that he's basically put shackles on himself, on his true power. And that's why he barely lost Ichigo and barely beat Noitra. Which that explains a lot, because I mean a lot of that didn't make a lot of sense, you know what I mean. But anyway, we sit and fight for a couple of seconds, and then it goes back to, you know, the real time, and they're still fighting. And then Unohana she states that she has been killing him and then reviving him thousands of times just so that he can return back to his original self. And this was a pretty cool thing. I mean, I honestly, Unohana is an interesting character to me, but she was never that interesting. I'm liking how her character is going now. She has the mind of a fighter, you know. She wants to fight someone just as powerful as her, but she also still has her other side of her character, you know, the caring one. She's willing to basically give her life so Kenpachi can become the strongest Shinigami. So yeah, they're fighting, stuff like that happens. And then she attacks Kenpachi, and then he just attacks her straight back. A big slice down the middle, and chapter ends. I probably left out a few parts, but kind of in a rush this review. But yeah, that's the summary of the chapter. I personally thought it was pretty cool, you know. I mean, not a lot. Whenever we get flashback chapters in Bleach, it's always really interesting. Unlike, you know, in Naruto. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Naruto, but the flashbacks in that are sometimes extremely boring. But there's nothing to do with this video anyway. Yeah, it was a good chapter. The art was brilliant in it. The story in this was brilliant as well. The backstory was very interesting. I was right about there being a backstory or a flashback in this chapter, which was pretty obvious, let's face it. I was kind of disappointed about Unohana's sin, though. I thought it was going to be something bigger. That was one part I was disappointed in. But I mean, it makes sense. In a way, it makes sense. I thought Kenpachi was pretty cool in this chapter, you know. Especially as a kid. I mean, I don't think anybody expected him to be a kid and being stronger than Unohana. I mean, just by that alone, we know Kenpachi, he is going to be an absolute tank. Possibly even become the second strongest character in Bleach. Could he possibly be stronger than Yamamoto? Perhaps. We don't know yet. But Unohana said she is the strongest, except for him. I don't know if she's being like 100% serious, saying that she's stronger than Shunsui, Ukitake and all them. But he's even stronger than, you know. that's pretty much all that happened in this chapter. I did enjoy it a lot. I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. Not 10 out of 10 because I again disappointed with Unohana's sin. Now, my predictions for the next chapter is we're going to see, they're going to talk a bit more, nothing major. And then, I think they'll just be talking most of the chapter, maybe a few, sword slashes along the way, but Unohana looks pretty injured at the moment. I reckon she'll go Shikai at the end of the chapter. If not Shikai, possibly even Bankai, I mean, anything's possible at this stage. Even if she really wants Kenpachi to awaken his full true power, to stop holding back, she's going to want to go Bankai. I mean, she's already killing him like this and reviving him. I mean, honestly, why she can't do that in Bankai either. And it'll push Kenpachi even more. So, I think she'll either go Shikai or Bankai at the end of the next chapter. We already know her Shikai's the big manta ray thing, but I mean, that was a healing Shikai. I'm pretty sure there's either a second Shikai she has, which is obviously the same thing, but I mean, a different ability. Kind of like Tosin, he had a few. He had the one that just basically knocked Uryu to the ground, and the one with all the blades that he used on Kenpachi. So I think it'll be something like that, or she'll just immediately go Bankai. Yeah, that's my review for this chapter. A lot happened, but there wasn't really a lot to talk about, so this review is generally short. But again, 9 out of 10. Great chapter. Looking forward to next week. This is Granny Kami. Talk to you later.